This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Amazon Health AI presents Painful Thoughts.
I can't stop scratching my downtown. Yeah, but I'm not itching to go downtown and tell a receptionist I'm here to talk about my downtown. Some things you'd rather type than say out loud.
There's no question too embarrassing for Amazon Health AI. Chat your symptoms and get virtual care 24/7. Healthcare just got less painful.
And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
Powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
Getting you closer to the people who help shape music, sports, entertainment. This week, it's a best of, packed with highlights from 9 recent guest visits in sports. A celebrated Vancouver sports anchor, a retired MMA champion, and a sports loudmouth who always has a hot take on something, anything, pushing buttons. In entertainment, a Broadway actor, a rising actress who starred alongside Hollywood icons, and a talent management expert behind some incredibly big Canadian events. And you'll hear from this week's musical guests in just a minute. A powerhouse indie singer, a dynamic post-hardcore frontman, and the guitarist of one of rock's most iconic bands. My name is Todd Hancock. Damn close to wrapping up our year. Holy crap, look how close we are. Appreciate you being there once again. As always, I do say that on most podcasts. It's because I truly believe it. Thank you for being there. With all the choices you have at your fingertips, for you to be here right now, it means the world to me. Making everything possible, or certainly a big reason we're able to continue banging out podcasts year after year, getting into our 11th year in January. We're throwing our big 10th anniversary party on January 31st, the start of hopefully another big year for us. Blue Light Studio has signed on to do live shows with us. Usually it's the last Friday of the month till the end of 2025. So we're good there. We're dialed in. It's nice to get sponsors signed on for longer periods of time, because then you know you can kind of work the plan accordingly, right? You know that the money's coming in. Now what can I do to help this podcast grow? As of course I sidetrack Jim again. A big reason we're able to do what we do is our title sponsor, Citywide Mortgage Services, coming up on their 3rd year sponsoring us. It's a good buddy's business, Dara. He's who I use for my mortgage with my house in East Vancouver. I'm excited to see him work his magic. So we're coming up, I guess, just over a month from now, but 6 weeks from now, I've got to renew again. Interest rates, hopefully by then, should be a little bit lower. Dare I say almost reasonable? I don't know about that. Bank of Canada, of course, dropped the rates. There's chitter chat that will happen again before I renew. That would be great. That would be nice. Get me into the 3s and I will be happy. A flat 4. Okay, a flat 4, I'll deal with it. But there is time. As mentioned, we're about 6 weeks away. So we'll see what Citywide Mortgage Services can do for me and my family. And then it's just a matter of using them when you need a mortgage. I always say it. Use my friends, my circle, my network. That's the beauty of this podcast. A little bit of scratch going on. Bottom line, use Citywide Mortgage Services if and when you need a mortgage. I trust them. And you should too. Okay, coming up shortly in Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, IFBB Pro Dr. Stacy Naito talking about an average day and working with anti-aging medicine. That is powered by FKP MMA. Learn self-defense, build your self-esteem, prepare yourself, protect yourself and those around you. They are Vancouver's #1 training destination through fkpmma.com. First, here's some highlights from musical guests in our best of this podcast, all of whom are powered by the Hawkins Sound Ranch. Take your music up a notch. Get it to that next level. Trust that they have over 20 years experience in the industry and use their state-of-the-art studio. The owner, Corey, I've known this guy for a very long time, back when he was getting played on Indie Night in Canada when I was CFox, 99.3 The Fox here in Vancouver. I was CFox's indie music director for damn near a decade. And believe me, if your band can cut through the noise of that position, not even kidding, I would get like 50, 60, 70 band submissions monthly. And I mentioned I did it for almost a decade. So commercial sound on an indie budget, check these guys out through the Hawkins Sound Ranch.com. Velvet Rouge, their singer Gina Zo was a guest in late July. They say that Velvet Rouge is the color that you exude when you're betrayed by someone that you trust. The band is based out of Philadelphia and LA. They released their debut back in July of this year. And it really shouldn't come as a surprise to you to know that music has always been in Gina's world.
Yeah. When I was younger, we would go to my grandparents, the one that got me the guitar. Yeah. And me and my cousins, my grandmother would have a flashlight that she would do kind of like a strobe. And we'd be dancing to like Fleetwood Mac on the record player, Fleetwood Mac, Norah Jones. And we would just be dancing around, which was, of course, the most fun at that age. And I love Fleetwood Mac. I've seen Stevie Nicks. I'm like obsessed.
Like, is there a better album than Rumors?
No. Like every song is a hit. Every song is a hit. And it's interesting, growing up, obviously, when the album didn't come out, it's interesting hearing back because I'll hear songs sometimes and I'm like, who is that again? And it's always Fleetwood. I feel like it's always Fleetwood Mac. Like every time I love a song and I like am kind of like, wait, who is this again? It's always Fleetwood Mac. It's like never not. It's never not Fleetwood Mac. Or it's always Stevie Nicks. And I think that was huge. But my stepmom is in TV. So I grew up around TV. Every member of my family does some kind of music. My brother is a musician and actually plays on the record.
Well, that's cool.
So yeah, so everyone is musical. My dad did try to learn how to play the banjo in 2020 during the pandemic. It didn't work out. But we all do a little something. So I was totally grown up around like becoming something creative.
As a music lover, it's great when you get to talk to another music geek and kind of get into other parts of their lives as well. Like Gina talked about how her brother is a cop. She shared a near-death story. She's friends with Jackass's Bam Margera. He's actually one of the guys that got her down the road to the path of music. We talked about the NHL playoffs, the Olympics, the pandemic, the shows that she's been binge watching. And if Gina's name is ringing a bell, it could be because she was a contestant on The Voice when she was just 17.
Yeah, I was 17 at the time when I started. I just graduated high school like a month before I started my audition process.
That's crazy.
So yeah, no, it was insane and really weird to be 17. Like, you just don't know anything at 17. I mean, I guess you think you do, but.
Well, you think you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a weird time in my life. And I think you just always at that point are looking for external validation. So it was great. I got a lot of external validation.
Sure.
But I think that can be detrimental. But it was good. It ended up being good for me. But I think those reality shows, it's really tough. I don't think that I would let my kid go on. I don't think, but what do I know?
Really?
At least not till they're a little older. I think because of the ability for it to go so bad and for people that you don't know to hate you. Like I remember there's forums for these things, of course. Like I didn't know what Reddit was when I was 17, but you basically end up finding out that like people are posting in there like how bad you are or how good you are, or it's weird. And you're 17
Oh yeah.
and you're just,
And you can't read that shit. Like even you can't read that shit even for like the good stuff. Because if you believe the good stuff, then surely you must believe the bad stuff. And you can't read those comments.
No, you're so right. I even got my first stalker when I was 17.
Oh my God. Stalking at 17. Like
I was like, damn it. Like you kind of feel like you're winning a little bit, but then they're being annoying. So
We'll take you from Velvet Rouge singer to the singer of Toronto's post-hardcore band Napoleon. Awesome to jump a Zoom with John. John is the singer of the band, Jonathan Elmaleh, back in August. Summer's full swing, trying my best, of course, to stay focused at that point, keep the podcast going. As a fan of the band, I really like their band. Cool to hear John talking about trying to break the band. It's not like the 70s or the 80s with labels throwing around huge money. I think I mentioned this when John was a guest, how I'd once gone out for dinner with Pete Yorn. This is back in my Seafox days. You know, we were slamming back like $60 shots of tequila. Sony, his label, not blinking an eye. Like that sort of stuff today does not even exist. Now there's market saturation. There's just more noise, I guess, right? There's more things to kind of get you sidetracked. John's band, Napoleon, formed in 2018, and they have been called one of Toronto's top up-and-comers. Listen to John talking about his first concert experience.
The first concert I went to, like I remember, was I went to see U2 when I was still pretty young.
Okay.
When I was like a kid, not like a toddler anymore, like like grade school kind of.
Like you'll remember.
They were like the band like I was like really obsessed with.
What do you remember from that show? What stands out?
One of the biggest bands of all time.
Yeah.
So like a huge show. And I think they were doing like 2 or 3 nights straight at like the Air Canada Center, which is like the big arena here.
Yeah.
I remember like there was no openers or anything. It was just them. And
but like a massive, like 2-hour, 3-hour show.
Yeah, they played for like 3.5 hours. Crazy. And I took like an intermission between. It was weird because it's like very not like any other show I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen U2 twice. Because like for me now it's like nostalgia.
Sure.
But the second time I saw them, like it was more like normal show. Like they played in a stadium, which I guess is more like their kind of size. So they had like an opening band. They just played like a normal length set. But this time it was crazy. Like they played for 3.5 hours. It took like a break. Their stage wasn't even like a real stage. It was like there was like the stage. There was this giant like walkway thing, and like screens came down. They were like going up and down. So it was like nuts.
And like think about that when they're on tour, John, too, right? Like they need to piggyback that to the next city too. It's not just like that's the one show. Like they've got multiple shows. Like, and think of the logistics of doing that. Yeah. Set up, tear down, jump, leapfrog to the next city. Like it's a fucking colossal machine, man.
Yeah, but obviously when you're in a band that big, it's very it's not even about the band at that point. Like it's like there's so many hands involved.
Not bad, right? U2 as your first concert. Mine was back in 1981. It was in Kitimat, BC. I was just 8 years old, and Dr. Hook came to play the local hockey arena. Kind of pales in comparison to Bono and the boys, but still had a good time. Talked about all sorts of things with John, certainly lots of music stuff, like being managed by Scott Middleton of Cancer Bats. He talked about Weezer, playing cover songs, how he's a music teacher, but we got into other parts of his life as well, like family, the worst jobs that he's had. We talked about COVID a little bit, and whether or not that he could nail down one career highlight.
There's definitely been a lot of really cool things that have happened. I'd say a really big one for me was having Shane from Silverstein sing on our song.
Yeah, how'd you get that to happen?
Scott hooked it up, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, he. It was funny actually because like for me, Silverstein was like one of the first like screamo, like metalcore, kind of bands that I got into. And like I would say it was like them and Alexis on Fire was the reason like I was like, oh, I want to learn to scream. And one day it was like right when COVID started, we had that song called it's called I Better Run now, but it used to be called Enemy. And like it was finished. And we were talking and we were saying, yo, we should try and get someone to sing on this song, because we just put out our men's song that had the guy from the Dirty Nil singing on it. And that did quite well for us. So we said we should try and hook something up like that again. And we were talking about who could do it? Who could do it? And I kind of just said casually, because we were talking about like the last show that we went to before COVID, and like the last like bigger concert that I went to was Silverstone, like right before COVID, because they played in London, Ontario a couple weeks before like everything shut down. I was telling them, yeah, it was really cool. Like I've seen them a couple times, but that was like the best time I saw them. Like, they came out with like such a cool show. It's cool to see a band like that old, like still not old, but like 20 years into it, like 20 years in, like still putting out like fucking
crushing band.
Still like trying to like one up themselves. Like so many like bands are just like kind of like throwing the towel at that point. Like, yeah, fuck it, like we'll just go play, make our money and whatever. But to watch, and I was telling Scott, like it's like really inspirational to me to see like, a band like that's been around for so long, like really like pushing to be better and better and better.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, actually I'm really close with those guys. Like, I was like, yo, you should ask Shane. Like that'd be crazy. Like that would be like a dream for me.
Yeah.
And, he's like, yeah, let's try. Let's do it. I was like,
that's fucking crazy. So like you're hanging in studio like for the full day? It's like just a day thing or what? Probably, right?
He actually recorded the vocals at his place.
Oh, okay.
He lives quite far from us. So he recorded the vocals there, but he did come to be in the video. Unfortunately, I was the only one who got to be there for that, because this was like the peak of COVID.
Oh.
So we were really so like there were parts where like him and I were in the frame together. So him and I did that, which was awesome. But the other guys, unfortunately, were not there.
And we'll go from Napoleon singer to someone you'll know from being in multiple bands. Billy Morrison has been in a bunch of cool projects and bands over the years. Like he's in the cover band Royal Machines, big players in this band. Dave Navarro, Chris Chaney of Jane's Addiction, Josh Freese of Foo Fighters. Donovan Leitch is the host of these shows. He was in Camp Freddy, basically the same lineup, different name. Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots was in that band as well. Billy's toured with The Cult. He fronts Circus Diablo, and he is one of Billy Idol's guitarists. And when Billy jumped a Zoom with us, he talked about the release of his solo album. He was just about to release that, something that he says he banged off with just a bunch of his rock star buddies.
Exactly. This album feels like a natural extension for me. If you can imagine having a career where you play guitar for someone else and you form the world's biggest covers band, so you're supporting someone else, whatever song it is. And I just decided, once I realized I loved the music and the journey that I felt the music was taking me on, I just thought, why not? If I can get a deal that it suits me, it's very hard to do these days. Most deals the artists just lose. Yeah. And Dennis at TLG and the people at Virgin embraced what I had to say. And then I decided, okay, well, then I'm going to put a body of work out that is me. And part of me is my whole career has been spent with all these people, playing on stages with over 500 guests in Royal Machines. So
holy shit.
Yeah, it would be silly. I felt like this album was a good balance. It would be silly to put out an album of all me singing, because I have spent my career with all these great singers. And so it's really Billy Morrison and friends. Does that make sense?
Don't you just love how Billy talks about all the players on his solo album? Like Trutho, I guess, right? Like when it comes down to it, they're just buddies despite their stature, their status in rock. And so cool to hear Billy talk about all sorts of things like music videos and how they changed the game. Friday night videos, Good Rockin' Tonight. I knew that he's a fan of Supermoto, so we talked about that. The Kansas City Chiefs came up, the superpower that he'd want to have. We talked about autobiographies, sobriety, doing a show on Sirius XM with Ozzy Osbourne. How cool is that? He shared the shows that he was binge watching, Game of Thrones and Baby Reindeer. Aliens came up, so did his art and how he has pieces in the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah, I have a piece in the U.S. Capitol with one of the senators. I don't want to list the list, but I've been very fortunate. But with art, I can actually earn a living.
Right, and that's you obviously saw the what's that Metallica something about monsters. Why am I blanking on monster? Yeah. So you saw like the Lars part where obviously Lars, some of the shit and all that.
I don't know Lars, but I would love for him to see my pieces because he's a huge art guy. Yeah, and he sold a Basquiat for a lot of money, and a lot of musicians like art because art is creative.
Sure.
Yeah, let me turn my AC off. That's gonna drive this podcast crazy. Wait there. It's all automated in this house. I can do it from my laptop.
Oh, nice.
Here we go. All right.
And what are the similarities, do you think, between making music and creating art?
Well, I know the differences. The difference with creating art is there's no managers, agents, and bandmates telling you that's not how it goes, or we can't do that because it doesn't make financial sense. So there's no one except you and the canvas. Mm-hmm. So that's the main difference. I think the similarities for me is creativity is all about keeping me out of jail. I've done many interviews about my past, and right. For someone like me, I need an outlet for the weird and wonderful voices and feelings that I experience every day. The frustration. I mean, we all go through it. Frustration, anxiety, PTSD, trauma, depression. These days in this climate, everyone feels this shit. And some people go and have a few drinks to ease that sense of anxiety. Well, if I have a few drinks, it turns into a lot of heroin and I get arrested. So I can't do that. And so art and music and any kind of creativity helps me do what a few drinks do for most people.
Well, that's great.
I breathe. I get these demons out. I put them on canvas. I put them in a song. I go crazy on stage. It's all exercising the demons for me.
Toddcast Podcast musical guest visits are powered by the Hawkins Sound Ranch. Use their 20-plus years of experience to record at their state-of-the-art studio. Commercial sound on an indie budget. Visit thehawkinssoundranch.com for more.
Check 1, 2. Oh. Oh.
Cool, it used to be true when I was a boy and easily amused. Now I'm grown up, I don't have a clue, but I gotta act like I do.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca. And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
Dr. Stacy Naito is a retired IFBB pro, a board-certified physician, a certified nutrition coach, fitness trainer, a writer, and you first heard her on the podcast back in 2018. She was born in Hollywood, California, spent much of her life in the entertainment industry, and last time that Dr. Naito was a guest, we talked about meditation, meal plans, weight loss, and a lot more. We even talked about the best places to vacation. Zeppelin and The Doors came up. Binge watching the series Grimm. We recommended books that you should read, learning new languages, and stop me if you've heard this before. Stacy talked about an average day with all of her roles and working with anti-aging medicine.
I don't really have an average day. I really don't. I mean, some days I have the doctor hat on, as well as the writer hat, as well as the brand ambassador hat, as well as the daughter hat, the cat mom hat. It just really all depends. Yeah. So yeah.
Right.
I do like the fact that I'm working in more of a supervisory role now as a physician. Oh. It's more in keeping with my personality. Because I paid my dues. I don't want to be examining orifices all the time. Actually, never.
Not all the time, never.
Yeah, actually, I was working these urgent care shifts back in 2019, and it was funny how it just kind of petered out right before lockdown, which was fine with me, good. Mm-hmm. But there I was, working these 12-hour shifts, examining orifices, seeing nasty shit that I didn't want to see, and I thought, I don't really want to do this stuff. I mean, yes, I'm board certified in family practice, but I work in, anti-aging medicine and medical aesthetics. Those are more proactive patient populations, and I love dealing with them. And there's a lot that I enjoy with those two fields. So, and actually, I have Lockdown to thank for pushing me into more of a supervisory role. So, hey. Yeah, so it worked out well.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by FKP MMA, Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit CanadianClub.com today.
I've been struggling to breathe today. Empty lungs for words to say. I'm medicate to numb the pain. Let's hope that I don't fade away. Because I learned to hide away. I was hoping that tonight we could break some like rain. I
I will say I've been patiently waiting since I got those guys signed on to do a show with us. That band is Chief State, and a great song for them called Burning Out. It's new Toddcast music, stoked for their headlining set. So it's towards the end of the month. Normally it's the last Friday of the month, but because of, Christmas and all that, we figured maybe December 20th might be a little bit more of the go-to. So it's the Blue Light Studio, normally as mentioned, the last Friday of the month. But rather than fight Christmas and the parties and people leaving town and all that, screw that noise. December 20th it is. Toddcast Blue Light Sessions, Volume 33 with Chief State and Cloud Sick. Arguably one of the best new Vancouver bands. Going to play something from them just a little bit. It's close to sold out, by the way. If you want to make sure you get into the show, grab a $20 ticket now through Eventbrite.ca. Eventbrite, eventbrite.ca. Doors open at 7 o'clock. We'll fire things up around 8:15-ish. Hope to see you there. I played you something from the headliner of next month's podcast, our 10th anniversary show. It's the Vitos, and that's their song called The Pressure. I know what the pressure. Have been buddies with these guys since they launched the band, and we're going back to my time at CFox 99.3 The Fox. Solid band, solid dudes. Stoked that they are playing with us, and they suggested their friend Colin Sankey. He's going to be opening up the night. Check his stuff out, by the way, on Instagram. The kid is a bass savant. He has a massive following online. Something like 120,000 people follow him just on Instagram alone. And without letting the cat out of the bag too much, Patrick Gavigan, who you'll know from Best Night Ever and The Turn, well, Patrick is part of the night as well, as are other Vancouver musicians. That one is also almost sold out. So don't snooze. If you want to come, grab a ticket right now. Okay, coming up in just a few minutes in Listen to This, the Payola singer Paul Hyde talking about his art career and whether he gets the same fulfillment as he does playing music. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. RV service, repairs, they are ICBC accredited. They are the freaking champions of indie communities. 8-year sponsors. They're absolutely key to why we've been able to continue making podcasts over the years. Big love to Tamara, Ty, and everybody else there. Find them online, if you'd rather, through Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, back to more guest highlights in this best of episode and some sporting guest visits, now powered by Sacred Meds. They're back on, Canada's best online dispensary for cannabis, psilocybin, psychedelics. I've been using their website for years and years. We're talking weed and mushrooms and vapes, edibles, CBD, bunch of oils and DMT and hash, literally you name it. If it's fun, it will likely be there. You can shop now through sacredmeds.co. That's sacredmeds.co. City News Vancouver sports anchor Marcus Fitzgerald was a guest back in mid-July. We're knee-deep in summer at this point. Jump to Zoom. You'll know Marcus from hosting Basketball Central on Sportsnet 650 as well here in Vancouver. He's become somewhat of a sports savant in the city. Trusted source, a very knowledgeable person. And to no one's surprise, since he's always been a sports fan, he said he knew that he would eventually get into broadcasting.
Yeah. That's what I'm into. I was reading the Vancouver Sun when I was 7 before school. This is just, it's what I know, man.
It's just your path. Yeah. And so So how old were you when you realized, like, I probably will go down like the sports broadcasting path? Like, was there a certain thing in your life, or?
I was probably 13, 14, and people started asking me, so Marcus, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to be Al Michaels. I want to be on Monday Night Football. That's kind of where I started. And you get older and it kind of gets beaten out of you a little bit. And I realized, you know what, maybe my dream was just to do this at 11:30 for a long time, until the wheels fall off. Now, I'm also grappling with, what's next, what's around the corner, because I'm 37 now. I've got responsibilities. I'm not the same 24-year-old kid anymore, so I've been thinking about that too. And I'm at that point that we all get to. But I still enjoy what I'm doing.
Like, you're not going to be changing careers or anything. Like, that's,
no.
What do you think long term?
No, not yet. I mean, honestly, Todd, I don't know. I mean, does it mean I become like an HVAC technician? Does it mean I become an electrician? Probably blue collar guy, get my ticket, do a trade and make some money before I leave here, I guess. But That's kind of where I'm at. But it is wild though that I've done this for pretty much half my life.
It's great when you find something that drives you like that, hey? Knowing that you'll get into something at some point in your life. Of course, we mostly talked about sports. We got him to pick the goats of sport, made him do a Mount Rushmore as well. Is Vancouver ready for another NBA team? If you listen or watch the full interview, we talked about that and get his opinion. We talked about how Caitlin Clark didn't make the U.S. national basketball team. He told the story of meeting Steph Curry, and we got into all sorts of other things as well, like seeing Snoop Dogg in concert, growing up with the music of Elton John, movie soundtracks, eventually finding hip-hop, and Marcus shared a near-death road story as well, and a few career highlights.
Getting a chance to, frankly, just call hockey games in the BCHL in Chilliwack for 3 years and riding the bus and learning so much and seeing the good side of hockey culture, quite frankly, because there's a lot of bad stuff about hockey culture that we hear about all the time, but I've seen the good side of hockey culture. So
how'd you get that gig, by the way?
That's actually a story in itself. I was in Brooks, Alberta, and I was doing news and sports in the morning.
Brooks, Alberta. My grandparents used to own the convenience store in Brooks, Alberta.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. That's cool. Yeah. No, I was the news and sports morning show co-host. Okay. Very young age, 22, 23, 24. But they're the junior A team there, the Brooks Bandits. Very, very successful program now, multiple national championships and lots of BCHL titles. We had a guy, Dennis Siebel, older gentleman, did all the games, did all the play-by-play, did the broadcast and stuff. And I was like let's throw it back to the studio to Marcus to, do an update in a second. And I was that guy there for a few years. And then I started doing color with Dennis. And then one day Dennis gets sick and he can't call the games. And they're like, Marcus, you're going to have to do it. I'd never called it, buddy. Yeah. Like, and I'd never called a hockey game before. And this is a playoff series as well. So, and I was so nervous, but you know what I did? This is back in the day when Team 1040 was still around. Yeah. They would put the Canuck radio broadcasts, like John Shorthouse's call, and they would podcast those. So what I did is I listened to that and I just said, okay, if I just do it like Shorty here, I'm going to be okay. And I did those 2 games. And if I ever meet John Shorthouse face to face, I'll tell him this. I said, I leaned on you in that moment when I was really nervous. And I said, if I just call the game like Shorty, I'll be okay. And sure enough, I did. And it went fine. I did a few games in Alberta. And then the job in Chilliwack opened up. And I thought, well, geez, now I have this tape. I can use it. I can send it to them. Nice. I'm from Port Coquitlam. I'd like to come home. The Chilliwack Chiefs, this was the second iteration of the franchise because they had lost the WHL Bruins and the Chiefs were coming back. So this is like a brand new thing. And I sent my stuff in and I knew a couple people over there and I was able to get that job. And I did that job for 3 years and that was some of the most fun I ever had too. So I guess as a collective, that's some of my best memories in the industry have, happened in Chilliwack.
We'll go from a Vancouver sports broadcaster to a retired MMA champ, one of the best to ever do it, John Fitch. John was a guest in mid-August. As a big fight fan, how cool is it to talk to him? Former welterweight champ, 14-3-1 in the UFC, was PFL champ, challenged in Bellator, trained at the American Kickboxing Academy, which if you follow MMA, you'll know that it's one of the best places in North America. Fitch, Penn, Cormier, Khabib, they all trained there. Here, John talks about some of his big wins over Alves, Sanchez, and more.
Yeah, I mean, I beat a lot of guys. And then when I started pushing back on contract stuff, they stopped giving me named fighters.
Right.
They gave me the toughest guy that nobody knew. Joe Silva actually, he said to Crazy Bob, my manager, that, we've got a new strategy to get rid of these wrestlers. We're just going to make all the wrestlers fight each other and get rid of them and then make the strikers fight each other and then push the strikers they want ahead. And, they ended up eliminating a lot of top guys who in an actual sport with actual universal rankings, and you had to fight somebody similar to your rankings, guys that probably, would have done really well were just pushed to the side and never really had a chance just because, they didn't like them or they didn't like their style.
Like, do you think that Dana White had something against you?
Oh, the whole company had something. If you're not a company man, you don't just bend over and do whatever they say. Like, they have a problem with you.
If you followed the UFC over the years, you'll know that John had some rough waters with them during his time there, which he talks about in the full interview. I think we talked for close to 40 minutes. Remember, John was released from the UFC back in 2008 because he wouldn't sign a lifetime contract to allow them to use his name and likeness in one of their video games, but for good reason. They weren't going to pay John. Like, what? What? He was back fighting with the UFC within 24 hours of being released and was with them again through till 2013. From there, John fought with the World Series of Fighting for almost 5 years, which of course became the Professional Fighters League, the PFL. He fought in Bellator in 2018, announced his retirement after Bellator 246 in 2020. And John was super open to talking about everything in his life, like from family to binge watching true crime dramas, the music of Pantera, Petty and Tool, the Chili Peppers and Outlaw Country, Cheech and Chong and George Carlin came up. So did superpowers, football and sports injuries, and who he thinks are the best fighters, men and women, in the game today.
People, if you didn't watch the Bellator yesterday, the Jason Jackson and the Kurmagomedov, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but that was an incredible fight, and those guys are maybe the two best welterweights in the world, and we got to watch them fight last night. I would put money on either of those two guys against anybody in the UFC or anywhere else, PFL, anywhere else. Impa Kasanayagawe, I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sure, but he moved up to 205. He had an outstanding fight yesterday also at the PFL. He's fantastic. Potan is very impressive, but I really want to see him fight a wrestler. I really want to see what he can do with takedowns, because Izzy took him down. You know, if Izzy can take him down, I worry. But I like watching him fight. He gives me an old school Pride style fighter vibe. You know, and I like that.
It reminds you of like a Dan Henderson or something like that, you know.
But can he wrestle? That's the question, because there's not a lot of big wrestlers at 205 right now in the UFC. I don't think, and not off the top of my head.
No.
You know, and unfortunately, I think the UFC incentivizes stand-up fighting so much we lose a lot of the actual mixed part of the mixed martial arts. Not saying you have to go out there and they wrestle, but if you watch like the Impa fight, like he integrates wrestling sometimes with his stand-up. And when you do that, it opens the door to striking. It opens the door, because when you have to respect that other level, you have to respect that level change. It changes things. Like the second time I fought Thiago Alves, I outstruck him. I was a better stand-up fighter in that fight, but it wasn't because I was so great at Muay Thai and I was better than him at Muay Thai. It was because he had to respect the wrestling. You know, when you can feint and they have to respect the feint and you can let punches and kicks go, it changes the game. And, you know, I really like the mixed part of mixed martial arts. I love the one championship small glove Muay Thai. Like, that's some of the best stand-up striking you're ever going to see. But most of these guys who do only stand-up and don't try anything with grappling at all, in these other MMA organizations, are nowhere near that skill level. So I'm like, why am I going to downgrade what I'm watching, you know, to sloppy stand-up fighting, you know, when I could watch one championship small glove Muay Thai? And these guys are unbelievably good. Haggerty is unbelievable with his stand-up.
Yeah.
And I don't think any MMA fighter in the UFC could compare to him in just a straight up stand-up fight.
And we'll take you from one of MMA's best to our resident sports loudmouth, Mr. Tequila. He was a guest back in late September. He and I are longtime buddies. I was the best man at his first wedding. I used to manage his band back in the day before there were kids in the picture and I had spare time. He's been part of my broadcasting career since my time at CFox. He was a regular guest of that show for years and years, mostly talking sports like Canucks and BC Lions, Whitecaps sort of thing. And somehow he would beat the local sportscasters to the punch with some of the news that he would share on my show. Not sure how he would do it, but he did it. And still not sure, to be honest, to this day. I've asked him and he usually just kind of laughs at me. This time around, with his latest visit, because he usually has a 1 or 2 visits to the podcast a year. We talked about Foo Fighters, or specifically Dave Grohl, and how he dropped the news that he got another woman pregnant beside his wife and he was having a baby outside of the marriage. We talked about the Jane's Addiction dust up on stage, and there was a bit of a blow up between Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro, if you remember that. We talked about what we'd both done over the summer, and I went to Tofino for 5 days and he went to Bulgaria for a few weeks, and that's where his wife is from. We laughed about how Roberto Luongo, retired NHL goaltender. So the dude answers a Facebook ad from a beer league team saying, look, we're looking for a goalie to play in our playoffs. Roberto plays with them and absolutely kills it.
Totally. That's why I love the guy. Like, that's awesome. Like, who would do something? Like, imagine being those guys, and all of a sudden the one goes the fucking goalie. It's like, holy fuck.
Lou walks into the room like, holy shit.
I was happy to see him win the Stanley Cup. You know what I mean? He's a part of that team. That was good. That made me happy. You know, as long as the Oilers lost, but to see Luongo get rewarded like that, like, he got fucked in Vancouver. That's the greatest goalie we ever had, and we ran him out of town. Best fucking guy we ever had, and let's just fucking
damn close with the alien twins, and like
totally,
yeah.
And then 2011, of course, we get fucked, right? Injuries, some bad calls, and just it's still tough to swallow. But fortunes are changing, though. You know what? The way that we have built this team now with Rutherford and Alvin, man, put your trust in these guys. These guys know what the fuck we're doing. Like, nobody even seen that coming. Look how good we did last year. We could have beat Oilers. Oilers barely beat us without 2 superstar players. Like, so we're not far off. Like,
right.
I think we would have did better if we would have got past. That was like the Stanley Cup there. Just get past McDavid and fucking Draisaitl, who is like a mountain to fucking get over, right? I think we could have fucking we could have did well against Florida. But again,
we totally could have, yeah. But here's another, like, you mentioned in the past and stuff, and just having bad luck or shitty calls or key players not playing. Well, that's not that Shelos didn't play well, but like, if we have in Demko the whole time, does that change our future? Does it change the fortune, right?
Totally. And I think it was a wake up call too for the management. Because now they're like, when they seen him go down halfway through the year, because he was on a tear, he got Vezina nomination. So obviously he's a good fucking goalie. They don't just put anybody on that nomination.
Oh yeah, sure. And whenever you see like stats on like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and it's like sports related, hockey related, and they're like the best goaltenders of last year, those two are always in the mix of the top 5 or top 10 or whatever is being talked about, right?
Totally. Demko had a career season. He's legit. But the injury, I think, scared him that day. They scared the managers that they're like, holy fuck, we need a succession plan, right? Because
isn't that Demko injury? Like, I've heard that it's an injury that's not like, it's not a fixable thing, and that if he continues to play, he needs to be able to work to play with the injury.
Well, and again, the thing is, they really have to monitor his minutes now. You can't have him playing all these games, because he did play quite a bit of hockey. Right. But he started to show that he's injury prone. Right. We need the guy, but we definitely got a good backup plan with Shelovs. Hopefully, and he's hurt right now, too. So we're going into training camp.
Oh, my God.
Shelovs and fucking Demko are still out. So they brought in some third goalie today. I saw some, I don't know, some no-name they brought in for a third goalie just so they keep the right amount of goalies at training camp this Friday, right? Training camp.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but Demko, if he's healthy and we manage the minutes with Shelovs, who's perfectly capable, I think the sky's the limit. Like, again, look, lose Besser in fucking game 7. We don't have Demko, and we almost still beat them. They only beat us by 1 goal in game 7. Fuck off, people. Canucks are a real deal. We're for real.
Yeah, Roberto Luongo is a freaking legend. Imagine if the Canucks had him back in the days of the Sedin twins, Naslund, Morrison, Bertuzzi, Bieksa. Glasney's Kluche just wasn't cutting the mustard back in the day. We talked to Tequila about getting Canadian news while he's abroad. We touched on the UFC and how they did a show at the Sphere in Vegas. We got a little bit political this time around, talking about Trump and Harris and Trudeau and Poilievre. Skid Row and Pantera came up. So did Linkin Park's new singer. And the reunion that we never thought would happen. And how long does he give the Oasis tour?
Totally. But again, they look at the pile of money that Live Nation comes up to them with, right? Look at your slice of that big, huge pile of money that's going to be on there.
We'll just have separate buses, and I'll see
to make it work
once a day for an hour hour and a half on stage. You know?
All you got to do. That's all you got to do, and I'm sure they could do it. But you know what? They're arrogant too, and they want to see people. They want to see stadiums full. They want to see the people, and to have that happen again, they both have to be together.
And it's like, what? I get another $127 million from my bank account? Like, I'm in.
Totally. And have fucking sold out tour. Like, the tour will sell out right away. Like, a lot of people aren't fans of them. I'm a fan of them. I'm sorry to say.
I like them.
But I do like them. I was a fan of them. Of course, I wasn't buying any. They're the best band ever of all time.
No.
Like, they say that. But again, look, that's being cocky. And like, I love it. You're being cocky. Sure. That's what you tell them in the interview. Fuck you, we're the best.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Right?
Nothing wrong with that.
I think it will still go. I think the money's too big because they wouldn't do this if somebody comes up with the money and says, hey, let's talk to your brother. We'll give you this right away. It's all money, right? Just like the Pantera thing. They're like, okay, we're going to give you $2 million each for all these shows. It's like, okay, I'll clear my schedule. Let's just go do this for 2 years.
Sure. Let me talk to my brother real quick here.
Yeah. And that Black Label Society, just pause while I come back. I'm sure he pays them retainer. Anybody who's a member of those bands just gets retainer. Right?
Sure. Like whatever it is, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Like whatever it is. Like
even Ryan Townsend, fucking, he paid those guys.
Sure.
His band. He pays them a retainer to hang around, just be ready for a moment's notice, right?
Ready to go. Yeah, I think you're right too. Like it, and I think for me partially is that I got to hang out with Noel one day. Right, he came and co-hosted an afternoon show, and he was funny as fuck, bro. Like, he had girls crying on the phone, like, "Oh, I can't wait to see you tonight. I can't wait to meet you." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Hey, what's your name? What's your name? Angela." Never happening, Angela. It's like they're crying, like, "No, come on, blah blah." Like, he he was the best, man. Answered phone calls for like 2 straight hours, and yeah, he was just funny as hell. And too bad we didn't have a guitar in studio.
Totally, and he's the real talent of that band because they didn't get anywhere until he came into the band.
Yeah. Right? He sings a lot of the stuff too, actually.
A lot of stuff, like even when they were fighting, and the fucking his brother's real head case, right? Liam's the fucking crazy lead singer disease on coke and all that. They're all doing blow, right? So when he would just 5 minutes before the show, okay, I'm not fucking playing. Noel would sing in and fucking do the singing. Almost noticed, like that.
Yeah.
Right. He's used to just playing guitar. He sings some of the songs, dual chorus and whatnot, pre-chorus. But all of a sudden, okay, we'll just do this, and he's just not coming tonight, right? After a while, he's just like, "Fuck, you need both of them," right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it would happen. I watched that documentary. There's a documentary I saw on fucking Amazon about those guys. It was actually pretty cool to see how they came up with all this stuff, right? And it was a quick rise to fame, like instantly, right? If you make it in Britain, holy fuck, right? Like they know shows, like that's the thing with Europe that's way better in Europe. Even the sports, the music, the stadiums, everything's totally different there. You come downstairs of any building you're in, there's a little cafe that you get coffee, cappuccino. There's a little store, you get beer all night, all night long. It doesn't matter. No curfew. There's no fights in the streets except for the soccer hooligans. Yes, there's a lot of fights and gangs and all that shit. But concerts, you can have as much beer as you want. They have these little fucking these beer cases that you can have 3 beer on this side, 3 beer on that side, 1 case, and then 3 and 6 on this side. So you can take that with you right in there. You're going in, drink them all, come back, get it the whole time. Booze here by the headliner, they're cutting it off.
Toddcast Podcast Sporting Guest Visits are powered by Sacred Meds, Canada's best online dispensary for cannabis, psilocybin, and psychedelics. Shop now at sacredmeds.co.
how it goes. And I guess I'm no different, but I'm no different, and now I know. Yeah, 'cause I'm okay always. Calling on you. I'm calling on you. Loving and loving on you. Loving, yeah. Calling on you. I'm calling on you. Loving on you. Loving, yeah. Well, I've heard this is what we do. And I think now I feel it. Well, I feel it because of you. Yeah, and I'm okay always. Calling on you. I'm calling on you. Loving on you. Loving, yeah. Calling on you. Oh, I'm calling on you. Loving on you. Oh, baby. Yeah, you used to think, and so did I. What we had would go right, 'cause that's how you've seen it go. Baby, not for us, I know. Yeah. Calling on you. I'm calling on you. Loving on you. Loving, yeah. Calling on you. Oh, I'm calling on you. Loving on you.
Red Truck Beer. You never forget your first truck. Official beer of the Toddcast podcast.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
If you want to talk about the best classic Canadian rock songs, then you have to include the Paola's Eyes of a Stranger. That song made such an impact on me from the moment it was released to radio. It's just something about it. You heard it everywhere on radio. You saw it on Friday night videos, Good Rockin' Tonight. And around that time in 1982, their album No Stranger to Danger won 4 Juno Awards. The Paolas broke up in 1988. They got things rolling again in 2003, right through till 2008. And when their singer, Paul Hyde, was a guest, we talked about all sorts of things like Metallica's documentary, Some Kind of Monster. Family came up, the NHL, soccer, golf, great North American venues like the Commodore Ballroom. He talked about being influenced by the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, seeing Chuck Berry in concert. And Paul talked in depth about his art career as well and how that's super fulfilling, just like his music career. Listen to this.
Well, this is a totally different part of my brain that I'm using now, but I've always enjoyed, cutting stuff out, doing collage. And years ago, I used to work with the acrylic plastic as well, with the but back then it was super. It would fill up the house with noxious fumes. The materials improved considerably now, so the resin is you just have to leave the door open. That's basically, you don't have to wear a mask and stuff. So once I found out that the resin was fairly safe now, about 3 years ago, I started doing it again, what I'd done 20 years ago. And I've had a couple of shows now, and there's a big one coming up in February. Yes, it's a great. I really enjoy it. It keeps me sane. It's I go downstairs into my workroom there, and I just love doing it. Making stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. PaulHydeArt.com.
Yeah.
PaulHydeArt.com. So where does that fit in, like, the whole? I don't know how to word this question, but, like, music does something obviously for you. It makes you feel good, and it's cool to create things, but, like, is it on the same scale as music, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's a tough question. I'm not sure how to word it.
Yeah, it is. It is on the same scale for me. Yeah. I really enjoy doing it, and it's the same in the brain. Yeah. When you're writing a song, there's a certain point where you think, okay, that's finished.
Right.
And it's getting to that point with the art as well. That's kind of the interesting part. And, I've had to learn a lot and, make a lot of mistakes, especially with using the acrylic that I use. It's tricky stuff, but I think I've got it down now. I can fix up. The trick is, if I make a mistake, I know how to fix it.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
I didn't try. Now I'm left to really wonder until I get a reason.
This could be such a great show. That band is called Cloudsick, and I love that song. It's called In Between. They are opening up the night at our next live show, Friday, December 20th at the Blue Light Studio in beautiful East Vancouver. They will have a 45-minute set. I'll interview the band for the first 15, 20 minutes. You can ask them questions too. It's intimate. It's very interactive, or at least we try for that. And for $20, you will not find a better deal. Believe me, these shows are something that will live with you for years to come. They're just so unique. Every show, almost every show. I mean, I have people coming up afterwards saying like, man, I love the night. I did not expect, it was like way beyond anything that I thought was going to happen. So hopefully you can make it out again through Eventbrite, eventbrite.ca. That's where we sell all our tickets for all of our live shows. You heard Ivan Hartle, and that was his song called Lovin' On Ya. That is a great song off his A Place to Stay LP, Lovin' On Ya. And he put this out a little bit earlier in the year. Solid LP from start to finish. A brilliant player in our scene. If you hear of Ivan playing anywhere near you, trust me, try to make this show. He played a podcast show for us last year, and he is simply out freaking standing. Speaking of that live music, you can check out the concert calendar at toddhancock.ca. Check out our indie scene and see what's up. Basically, it shows that we think you should be going to and checking out. If you're playing a show, if you're going to a show, if it's indie, let me know about it. I will get it up at the website, get some free advertising for the show. Hell, maybe I'll even play a song on the podcast. That would, of course, mean that you would need to get me your music. So, by the way, when you're there, check out our featured news. It's mostly music and entertainment. There's sometimes some sports from time to time. All of that is powered by our good friends at the Home Dwell Group, longtime buddies of the podcast. Simply put, if you're buying a home or if you're selling your house, contact them today and they'll walk you through it, make it super easy. homedwell.ca. Okay, our final highlights in this best of episode, some entertainment and lifestyle guests, all of whom are powered by Thrive Management. They are an event staffing agency here in Canada, one of the biggest and one of the best across the country. Models, brand ambassadors, we're talking sales and TV, film, trade shows, home maintenance, operations, whatever you need, they will help with. They work in major cities across Canada. Find out more on how they can help your next event, big or small, through thrivemanagement.ca. Actor Alan Ceppos jumped a Zoom with us back in mid-July, and what a cool story. Here, he was on Broadway at the age of 9 in The Three Musketeers. He was on national TV at the age of 13 in The Lottery, and he's been at her ever since. And he says it was a magic show that actually got him started.
I think you ask yourself all the time in this business that I'm in, why you do it. And I think at 8, somehow that the excitement of having people react and laugh was exhilarating. And I guess that's really what it still is now. It's just fun to hear people react and I guess make them laugh or cry, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Like any emotion, I suppose, right? And so, like, what was it that you were watching around that time? And like, what was
so it was a magic show, actually. Oh. And they asked, we went to school, a school class, and we were in the auditorium, and they asked for volunteers. And so I volunteered. And they took me on the stage and they took me backstage. This was in the 50s. And they said, we're going to put something on your face. And when we put you on the stage, we're going to turn out the lights and you're going to see the reaction. Well, at the time, I mean, again, this was in the 50s. So they put, I guess paint, and they had a black light, which was a brand new thing then, right? So they turned the lights out, they turned the black light on, and I had all these squiggles, I guess, on my face. And all these, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids were like, ah. And so that was what I did.
It's a great story, right? It's awesome to think back to your early life. Like when you were a little kid, what was life? Can you remember what was life like back then? More recently, you saw Alan in the internationally acclaimed political drama, There Is a Field. He got a bunch of international Best Actor awards for his role in the movie That Cold, Dead Look in Your Eyes. We'll get to more on that in just a second. Quickly, you've seen him in other fun things over the years as well. Days of Our Lives, New York Undercover, Law and Order. He was on Knots Landing, did a spot on the Conan O'Brien show, David Letterman show as well. Maybe you've been lucky enough to see him on Broadway. He starred in The Scottsboro Boys, The Encounter, and Smokey Joe's Cafe. And of course, he talks about all that stuff and more, like the shows that he binge watches, cooking to impress your friends, seeing Barbra Streisand in Central Park. He shared a near-death story about having an appendicitis, the bands that he grew up around, teaching English in Paris, where he met his husband. Alan's currently, by the way, in Gravesend. And you got to think, it must be an amazing feeling for Alan to have worked for so long in an industry that's so tough to break. I mentioned a moment back that Alan received some Best Actor awards for his role in That Cold, Dead Look in Your Eyes. Did he know while filming that it was such an incredible movie and role?
I guess when I read the script, I saw there were some scenes that for me would be important.
Yeah.
And I think that's what actors will do when they choose to take a role or not. I certainly know I do it. If I'm offered a role and I read the script and it's just like a flatline role for me, it's not interesting for me to do it particularly. I wanted to have some meat.
Right.
And so with That Cold, Dead Look in Your Eyes, originally my role was supposed to be for a woman. And when I auditioned for another role, the director kind of saw me in that woman's role and then changed it to a man. And so when he asked me to do it, I felt that it was a good role for me. And so I wouldn't say that I knew I would win the awards I won, but I knew that it was a good role.
Yeah. Yeah, really interesting. Like, I haven't seen the movie itself, but I went to, the Sizzle page and watched the trailer and, read the synopsis and all that. Really forward-thinking movie. Like, really, like, I want to watch the movie now that I've seen the trailer. It looks super engaging.
He's a very talented writer-director, Owner Tequila.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of work. And I wish he had more recognition because he's very good.
Well, I would think that this would push him into the recognition role, like there's a spotlight. So now attack.
Yeah. We hope so.
Take you from actor Alan Ceppos to actress Sasha Neboga. She was a guest in mid-August. Her movie, Knox Goes Away, was just about to be released around that time. She plays Al Pacino's wife in the film. Michael Keaton directed, so she was doing some press.
I mean, and everybody's like, what are you going to do next? And I'm like, I don't know how you can follow that. I mean, I can take that to the grave. I feel accomplished. I feel good. Yeah. I mean, it's iconic. It feels surreal to, be included and be around him. And, my entire family is just in awe. So it was a huge honor. Yeah. And he's lovely. He's lovely.
I mean, yeah. How could you get to that point and not, like, if you were an asshole, you'd never get as big as he is. Like, just, it would never happen, right?
That's also been a really great discovery. I feel like the higher up you go, the more successful people are, at least in the creative space that I've come across, they're just the most grounded, humble people. Michael Keaton also,
of course, he directed the film as well, right?
He did. And it was really amazing to watch. I mean, on set you have, maybe 100 crew and cast, and he's just, you can tell he's juggling everything, but he's so just grounded and has so much integrity and makes every single person feel seen. He really holds space for everybody. So, and such a gentleman, just to always make sure you feel good. So yeah, just, I have nothing but good things to say. It feels like a dream still, honestly.
Yeah, sure. Right. Like Pacino, Keaton, like just two freaking juggernauts.
Also, Joanna Kulig, who I remember, I remember seeing Cold War in theaters when it came out, you know, so I had no idea she was attached to the project until I ran into her on set. And then I realized, okay, she plays across Michael Keaton. But,
okay,
you know, that just also incredible. She flew in from Poland, you know, and also just the loveliest human being.
Right? Like, talk about reaching the top of the mountain, working with Al Pacino, Michael Keaton. You've seen Sasha, by the way, and maybe even know her best from her role as Sidney McMillan on Chicago Fire. And like most good actors and actresses, she starred in so many great shows. Blue Bloods, Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, NCIS Los Angeles, just to name a few. Sasha's known for more than acting, though. Prior to that, she was a model with Elite Model Management.
I'm glad I kind of did it when I was younger and kind of got it out of the way. But yeah, it's, gosh, I don't even know where to start. It's, I'm glad I had that experience. And I'm glad it kind of got me to where I am today. But it's, you know, it's just, I guess it kind of had to happen because your whole focus is just kind of your exterior presentation, you know, like that's your sole worth is your appearance and, you know, how you come across. And I'm glad I went through that journey to kind of get to a point where I'm like, you know what, that beauty fades, you know, it's I think what is internally is what counts.
Yep.
So I kind of did a complete, you know, pendulum shift to the other side. And after I kind of decided to part ways with that, I went back to school and just filled my time with everything I could: communication, psychology, philosophy, like, you know, it's, I just, I think I did a really great job, you know, modeling, which was great, but getting to switch and put focus internally was really even more satiating.
No shit.
Yeah.
And so having done like both worlds, what do you think is more surreal then? Like, is it the life of a model or the life of a movie star? Like,
I think definitely film.
Yeah.
100%. I don't think modeling is as glamorous as, you know, people like to believe.
Right.
With modeling, you're very much on call for everyone else. You really don't have much of a say. And what I've really been, you know, enjoying about kind of the film TV space, it's genuinely collaborative. You know, I think it's also, you know, there's a union just to make sure that you're taken care of, which again, with modeling, you don't.
Right.
You could be working like, you know, 12, 16 hours and there's really kind of, you have no rights in that. And yeah, with, I think the whole Hollywood industry, I mean, you're getting to create a story and be part of this just other world, and it's really magical, honestly.
Yeah, we'll go from a Hollywood actress to the owner of one of Canada's preeminent event staffing agencies, Thrive Management owner Sasha Ali. Sasha jumped to Zoom with us back in mid-August with simply the intent of having her on as a guest. So a few days prior to doing so, she texted me asking if I was looking for new sponsorship, which I usually am, even when I'm fully slammed. Like right now, there's always something that we can do together. So Sasha jumped on as entertainment guest visit sponsor with Thrive Management, which is super cool considering, like, here's a buddy who I've known for damn near 20 years who was just a little rock star on the scene here in Vancouver as an influencer before the term even existed, who would be at all the cool shit that I was going to as the host of C Fox's afternoon show. She would come in and co-host the show from time to time as well, which was super fun. And she's just charismatic. She just got it, you know? So for Sasha to reach out about sponsorship, which, by the way, was for a car dealership that her mom was working at, which still might happen in the new year. Of course, I'm going to jump at the chance to tell my circle, my network, about Sasha's company, Thrive Management. Remember how I was saying that an influencer before the term existed? Listen to this quick story that she tells about hanging out with Dan Aykroyd at a Patron Tequila party.
Yeah, it was wild because like I started off as like a promo girl and just like doing like tastings. I remember my first tasting was with who's the Ghostbuster guy, and he had like a band. You know,
Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd. So he launched like Patron Tequila before he owned it. And that was my first promo gig, was at Bar None in Vancouver. And he had his band, and my first event ever was launching Patron. And I was like 19, just, not knowing what was going on. And I had like this little like taste of fun with like Dan Aykroyd on the back of his bike. Like I still have like the Polaroid picture of me and him too. Then yeah, we just started like doing random promos before COVID. It was just so much fun because you got to go to like golf courses, and we traveled on this like super cool like silver bullet bus, and we would stop by like on a road. People would be like just walking on a road, and we'd just stop by and be like, hey, do you want to come play Guitar Hero? And they'd like come on, and we'd like play Guitar Hero with them and give them a Coors Light and like take them to their destination on this like huge party bus. And we like drove all through Alberta and BC with it. It was ultimate. Like before, like I'm so glad it actually wasn't influencers days, because the things that we would have been recorded, we would have been canceled for sure.
Yeah. Seriously, back in the day, Sasha was one of Vancouver's biggest models. You would see her everywhere, trade shows, launching brands, all the cool parties, and now her company helps staff the biggest, coolest, funnest parties in the country. I think it's pretty rad. You'll hear all about that world, running events and staffing them, and how things have changed with the Me Too movement. But we got into all sorts of shit with Sasha. Aliens came up, binging true crime stories, seeing Jewel in concert. We talked about how crazy is it that we're parents now. She once hung out with Leonardo DiCaprio. She told that story. She taught Jason Derulo how to beatbox. She shared a near-death story. We talked about growing up to the music of the Eagles, Stevie Nicks. Hockey came up, and how pushing past COVID is likely her career highlight.
I'm really proud of adapting through COVID. Honestly, I've mentioned COVID a couple times, but like just imagine both your businesses are completely down because no staff.
Sure. Like I was like this fucking close to closing the podcast down. I lost, I don't know, I had like 12 sponsors. I lost 9. Boom.
Right.
Like I was spending all this time and I'm making so little money.
Yeah.
I can't go to my kids' hockey practice, or I can't fucking, why am I making this money and I'm not being part of the family, and I'm not being a true dad in the sense of the word, right?
I know. I was this close to doing OnlyFans, Todd. Like this close.
No shit.
I made up a website called Only Toes. I because I do that on the side. I go on GoDaddy when I'm bored, and I like make up names. I'm like, you know what, that would be a good one, and like then I sell them, the domains. But Only Toes was available. I haven't done anything with it, but
yeah. But COVID was really close to fucking with you.
It fucked with me hard. Yeah. So like I said, no events, no staff, right? So I had to adapt and do the blue collar division. We started hiring essential staff, so like merchandisers and junior sales associates, and contracting them out because these companies didn't have the money to hire employees for that time, even though they're essential workers. Yeah. And then with my spray tan, like I had a studio in Grand Prairie, and I had nurses calling me up being like, I know you're closed, but can you just give me a spray tan? And I'm like, you're literally the reason why I can't spray tan anybody. I'll literally get fined. So, I mean, just adapting through that and still making it work and still keeping both businesses, and then being able to open up and kind of continue on and adapt and learn from that. I think that was like a huge moment for me. I mean, like there's a lot of people that are not going back to work still and are still trying to struggle, trying to find jobs. And I'm fortunate that I just have ADHD to the max and I can't sit still, I guess. So
I know that. I know that feeling. Nighttime in this house is mental.
Yeah. No, same. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that, I mean, like, congrats to you too. Like that's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that
control.
I just, stuck to it, because I think I'd probably be kicking myself at this point if I didn't have this podcast anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's such a big part of my world.
Yeah.
Not just this stuff and interviewing and editing and fucking social media and marketing, but it's like live shows that I do, and like just it's part of my identity. It'd be weird for me to not be in the industry. Do you know what I mean?
It's a part. Yeah. Like, and that's how I feel too. Like when I was joking, like I'm going to be 75, still hiring people and like checking in on events. Like it's a part of you, because like it's, you've been in this industry and kind of had to adapt. So if I didn't have Thrive, or if I didn't have my second like hustle where it's just like my passion of making people feel good, I think that it would take away a part of my soul. And even if I were to say win $1 million or win the lottery and be able to not have to work, I would still want to do it.
I think so too.
You know what I mean? Like I would be like, sweet, some money to invest into my company. And then I can be able to sponsor like more people and get my name out there more and turn it into this big thing, even if it doesn't even get to this big thing, it's still like my thing,
Toddcast Podcast Entertainment Guest Visits are powered by Thrive Management, an event staffing agency that provides staffing services across Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, Ottawa, and all of BC. Find out more at thrivemanagement.ca.
big song for them. New Johnny Rath is called American Pie. Man, I love that band. The ease, by the way, of their live performance. They played a show for the podcast at the Railway just before COVID. Maybe you caught that show. It was absolutely packed. They killed it. I poked them a little while back to see if they'd be into playing a show at the Blue Light Studio, but at the time they weren't playing shows, which was probably about a year ago now, but have kept an ear to the ground ever since. And so far, I haven't heard of them playing locally, but I don't know, maybe 2025 will mark the return of Johnny Rath. Looking forward to next week. It's the second part of our best of this podcast. A big thanks, of course, to this week's guests for jumping on a Zoom, for taking the time. Appreciate each and every one of you. And that is going to put this one to bed. Episode 350, or roughly 330 episodes past where I thought we would get this thing to. Once again, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this episode, please do tell your friends about us. If you didn't like it, tell me and I'll fire everyone that's involved, which would not be a good idea because it's me. We're part of the Realm.fm network. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole bunch more. You can check out all the videos that we do at our YouTube channel. Comment and rate the podcast. It helps out big time. Search it out through what else? Toddcast Podcast. Huge thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors. We couldn't imagine trying to do this without their incredible support. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. And if you'd like to sponsor the podcast with your business, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info is at the homepage. And as always, if you help us find a sponsor, we will give you a commission. It's that simple. Send a business our way and we'll take it from there. Till next time, please, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast Podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
Stitch Fix. Stop shopping, get styled. A+ on the outfit, Miss Turner. You are about to slay parent-teacher conferences.
Oh, these? Just the most perfect fitting jeans my stylist sent me.
Oh, hello, you, who didn't set one foot in a mall and still looks amazing.
Just share your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. Stitch Fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com. To my stylist, this look is dedicated to you. Thank you. Thank you.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you're going to love our podcast, Disney Countdown. Hi, I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And Biscuits, I'm Jeremy, aka Jarendell, and we are the hosts of the hit Disney podcast, Disney Countdown.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show, right, Jeremy?
Ooh, girl, you know we are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you are looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.